Hi, I'm Diane, and I'd like to invite you to join me in this yoga practice that I designed for a friend of mine who recently experienced a heart attack and would like to begin a health building regime that includes yoga. As we know, there are many other aspects to healing, healing our heart, healing heart disease, including, of course, diet. We know we want to reduce meats and fried foods and increase fruits and veggies. There are a lot of other aspects to improving diet and other aspects of our lives, our lifestyles. Yoga is a very powerful element that one can add to really build strength and flexibility and calmness of mind, which is very important for our heart, for the health of our heart. So this practice is kind of a beginning point, and we will continue to move forward, and I will offer additional sessions as you begin to build more strength. So I invite you to begin in Sukhasana, the easy pose, as I'm sitting here cross-legged. This may or may not be comfortable for you, and so you want to raise up your seat as much as you need so that your hips are even with your knees. If you're here, just add blankets. I'm on some blocks. There's various ways that you can increase the height of your seat so that you can be comfortable here. You want to feel a sense of your spine being in its natural curves. So the hips are a little bit tilted so that you can have that natural curve in the low back. And it can be easy to sit up nice and tall, so we're not straining. You want to find a certain level of comfort in this pose. You can begin in a chair if that's where you want to begin. There are ways to begin moving towards bringing your legs up even in a chair. You put blocks and bring your feet together so that you're a little bit this way. This pose in itself is one of the best ways to begin building that resilience, that inner resilience. So we're going to begin sitting up very tall, relaxing the shoulders back and down, and just bringing your awareness inward, letting go of the outer world for this little brief time here together. Notice how you're feeling. Scanning through the body. If there's any little aches or pains, tensions, just observe them without any judgment. See if you can just allow everything to be. Noticing your emotions at this moment. Noticing your thoughts. See if you can come to this space of observing yourself, physical body, mental, emotional, and spiritual self, just as a witness. And then taking a moment to notice your breath, just feeling the breath without changing it. Notice where you can feel the breath, the nose, the throat. Maybe you can feel it in the chest. Perhaps you can even feel your belly moving. This is just a moment to check in and feel where you are in this moment. This practice brings us fully into the present moment, so we let go of any past and future just for this time together. And we begin some nice, slow, deep breathing. We call yogic breaths. We call dirga pranayama. So place one hand on your belly and another hand on your chest. Just for one more natural breath, see how your breath is. For your next breath, your next inhale, bring it down, let your belly expand. Consciously push your belly out to help pull the breath down deep, filling it all the way up through the rib cage, up to the upper chest. And then as you exhale, let the air exhale from the upper chest and then the rib cage, and then the last of the air, you're pulling the belly in to help exhale completely. Again, inhale, belly first, fill it all the way to the top. Exhale slowly from the top down. Again, inhale belly. Exhale slowly. See if the exhale can be twice as long as the inhale, pushing all the air out. You might want to count, inhaling 1, 2, 3, holding briefly at the top, and exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue in your own mind, counting or just generally trying to increase your exhale. The inhale you may feel is sort of energizing. You can feel the expansion throughout your body, not just in your lungs. And the exhale is kind of a softening, letting go. So by extending our exhale, we're creating a little more calmness in the body and in the mind. This 3-part yogic breath, meaning belly, chest, and upper chest, with the 1-to-2 ratio, meaning the exhale twice as long as the inhale, it has been proven to reduce blood pressure. And so most of us with heart disease generally have high blood pressure, and so this can be really helpful to practice as often as you can in your day, particularly if you're feeling anxious or upset, feeling angry or overwhelmed. Just taking this moment to practice this deep, slow breathing, this 1-2 ratio, can really shift your whole being so that you can calm down and you can more effectively manage the challenges of life. Let's release our hands. And we'll begin some little gentle movements. So we're going to inhale our shoulders up to our ears, drop them back and down, and then forward. So circles, inhale, shoulders up and back, exhale, down and forward. Continuing, make those circles as big as you can without straining. Don't forget, your practice should remain comfortable. You want to just maybe reach the edge of our comfort zone, but especially as you're just beginning a yoga practice, really err on the side of safety. We don't want to injure ourselves. And most of us who have not practiced yoga are not so aware of our bodies. Let's reverse the direction of our circles and go the other way a few times. Many of us have a lot of tension in our shoulders area, so these little circles can really help to shift also that sense of being stressed. And let them drop down and back again. And let's do a few cat and cow stretches. So as we inhale, we pull the chest forward. As we exhale, we round. So going at your own pace, following, let your breath guide the movements. Just going to turn sideways so it might be easier for you to observe. Inhaling, pulling the chest forward, lifting. Exhale, rounding as much as you can. Again, no strain, no pain throughout your practice. Okay, so we just warming up the spine. And then we're going to do some little side-to-side stretches. So, letting your hands reach out to the sides. You can mirror me and start with your left arm reaching up. Let your right hand land wherever it will. Perhaps you need support here. And coming over just as far as you can. Explore that stretch. Feel a sense of lifting all through your left side. Maybe just slightly gazing upward so you're keeping that shoulder a little bit back. And just holding for a couple of breaths. And then with your next inhale coming up and down, we'll do the other side. Reaching, holding for a couple of breaths. With each inhale, expand that stretch through your right side. So exhale, just seeing if you want to drop any further. And slowly back. And down. Just take some little circles. moving your whole torso around your hips, beginning to warm up the hip area a little bit. The idea is to just gently move every muscle, every joint, and then go the other direction with your feet. Okay. Let's go ahead and sit down on our mats or wherever you are. It can be a blanket or anything. We're going to stretch our legs out. Sit tall, bring your arms up. We call this Dandasana. It's a very simple pose. The legs are activated. You're lengthening out through your heels and you're lifting up through your torso, through your arms. And yet the shoulders are not pushing up to your ears. Keep the shoulders a little away from the ears. And bring our hands down. And we're going to lean back. Just start to work your belly a little. So we're just going to start to engage a little bit of core strength here. We can bend our knees. And we can start to lift the legs up. Maybe you can hold behind your legs. Maybe the legs come fully straight. Choose what works for you. You want to feel like you're working the thighs and the belly without straining your back. Support if you need. Here is good. Long enough to feel that sense of building a little heat in your core. And then release down. Once again, inhale the arms up and a gentle forward fold. Take your time here. We're just folding at the hips to begin with. And then ever so gently rounding forward. Without any judgment about how far you go, just feel that edge. Feel that wonderful stretch through the back side of your body. Notice if you feel it in your legs, if you feel it in your back, in your head. Just gently drop down. And holding for a couple of breaths as you inhale deeply, let it expand through your back. As you exhale, pull the belly in. It might naturally draw you down for a good stretch. And coming up, let's come to our hands and knees for a couple more of those cat-cow. The wrists are right under our shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale as you let the belly drop down, arching through your back, lifting your head, and exhaling, dropping your head down, rounding through your back. A couple more times. And coming back to center, let's sit back on our heels. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, take a nice firm blanket, put it between your hips and heels, and then drop down. Maybe the forehead can come to the ground. Maybe you want a block under your forehead. Another option, if you don't have a block handy, is to make two fists on top of one another and let your forehead rest there. Couple of deep breaths here. This should be a very restful pose. See how much you can let go into the ground. All right, then let's go ahead and come up. We're going to come all the way up to our feet. Coming to Tadasana. Feet hips distance. Settle into the four corners of each foot. Feel as if you can send the roots down to the earth. Lifting up very tall through your spine, through your whole body. Shoulders again dropping down and back. We call this mountain pose. Feel that sense of when we stand mindfully with all of our body nicely aligned. Ears above the shoulders, hips, knees, feet, all in a nice line. Belly is gently pulled in and up, so there's a little firmness here. Feel that sense of solidity, stability, security, simply by knowing that you are grounded, deeply centered, able to stay in a equanimous state, equanimity, so that as the storms of life come, we are able to stay in that grounded center place and able to respond to life with that calmness, that wisdom that's there when we're not too angry or upset. So this practice of the breathing, the stillness, the presence in the moment, we just need to practice that skill. It's not something we generally do in our culture. That's why yoga has been such a tremendous benefit to our society, I believe. So we will do one more pose. We'll do a little chair pose. So this is again to build some inner strength. So we're simply going to, as if you're about to sit in a chair, you can bring your arms forward, bring your hips back. As if you're about to sit down, so your weight comes back towards your heels. You can bring your arms here, or if it feels good to bring them up, a little more energizing here. You can be just a little ways down, and you can drop. You find the level of challenge you want for yourself today, in this moment. Holding long enough to start to feel that the heart is getting to going. Feeling the circulation throughout your body. And then coming up. Bring the arms all the way up overhead. Let the palms come together. And bring the hands down. A prayer pose. Let your thumbs press up against your breastbone. Feel your heart. Sensing how giving it just a little bit of stress. That means a little bit of exercise. Begins to build a little more strength. Begins to heal. When you give it just the right level. Not to overdo, but also not to underdo, if you will. Take our feet a little wider. And release our arms. We're going to swing back. Let's come back to seated. Again, if you have a proper height established for your Sukhasana pose, and make it yours. Make it comfortable so that we can pause for one last moment to check in once more. Feeling your body. See if you can notice any subtle differences from this before we did this simple short practice. Just these brief moments of stillness where we just aim to quiet down, observe, be in the now, and allow it all to just be. This is tremendously healing. Yoga helps us to heal from the inside out. I invite you to practice this little session every day if you can, for at least a week or two. And then we will begin another session. We'll add a little bit more. Thank you. Namaste.